from the City Mission School's office, we are filming a very special video because we have been asked some questions by Year 5-6 pupils at Romsey Primary School. They would like to know some questions about salvation. They want to know, what does salvation mean to you? How important is the concept of salvation in Christianity? Does the idea of salvation impact on your everyday life? And if so, in what way? And how does salvation in the Christian story make you feel? Reuben, what are your thoughts?
Well, thank you, Ellie, and thank you, Romsey Primary, for your great questions. Really big questions. I'll try and answer them as well as I can. I'm sure Ellie will chip in with her answers too. So what does salvation mean to me? It means that I've been rescued, that I've been saved, rescued from the bad things that people do that we might call sin. I believe that when Jesus died on the cross, he took all the sins of everyone in the world away once for all, for good. They're gone, it's finished. But I also believe that salvation isn't something that happened once in the past. It's an ongoing process, and that I am saved from bad things that can still happen, from fear and doubt and sadness. And even though those things might still happen in my life, I believe that Jesus helps me through them, through his salvation.
That's really interesting. I think for me, it's all about that relationship with God. How a perfect God gets to be friends with me, a person that does keep making mistakes. But because of what Jesus did on the cross, it's like that bridge has connected us again. So I get to be in a relationship with God. And that does impact my everyday, I suppose, because it means that in all situations, God is with me. I can have conversations with him and trust him and turn to him at any moment. And for me, that feels really nice, really encouraging, really hopeful.
Amazing. I think for me, salvation does make me feel hopeful. I feel deep gratitude and thankfulness for the salvation that Jesus has achieved for me and for you and for all who believe in him. And it gives me hope that we are heading towards a better world, that the process of salvation is ongoing and the world will get better. But it also gives me hope in a better eternal tomorrow that comes after I die. I get to go and to be with Jesus as part of my salvation, and I have that on faith and hope and trust, and it will be good.
That sounds like some good stuff. So do you think salvation is quite important to Christians?
I would say salvation is probably one of the most important things to Christians. Ultimately, Christians believe that Jesus died on a cross to save people, to restore a relationship with people. And if you don't believe in the salvation from Jesus, I think it's hard to say you're a Christian. So I think it's really important.
Yeah, I think it's one of the key things that makes Christianity different from other faiths and religions. I know of some religions where it's all about working your way up to get to where God might be. But actually for Christianity, it's not about working your way to God. It's about God coming down to humans. God sending part of himself to earth in the body of Jesus to walk among his creation, to be with them, to love them. And that is really special. And although there may be certain times in the year where we think about salvation more than others, like at Easter and on Good Friday especially, when Jesus died on the cross, we remember that, I would say it does still impact every day.
It does impact every day. I don't always consciously think about it, but for me, knowing the fact that I have been saved, that salvation has happened, it impacts who I am, what I do, how I think about myself and the world around me. So it might not be a conscious thought, but it has formed who I am inside.
Are there any negatives about it?
What an interesting question. I don't know if there are any negatives. Salvation is a good thing. Being rescued is good.
Saved.
If you're stuck on a desert island and you're rescued, that's a good thing. And that's what Christians believe has happened with salvation. We've been rescued from our desert island. I think the only negative I would say is, for me, I think it's really sad that Jesus suffered to get salvation for people who believe in him. And that just makes me all the more grateful for it, to know that Jesus chose to come to earth to suffer to rescue people is amazing and beautiful and beyond my ability to understand. So yeah,
really interesting. Thank you for sharing, Reuben. Thank you, Romsey, for your questions. And if anyone else has any questions they want to ask a Christian, send us an email, schools@southamptoncitymission.co.uk. Bye!
bye.